Aloha, hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii and 365 Hawaii Group from Keller Williams Realty, Hawaii Island, and I am, actually Big Island, I think. I'm here with Lance Owens, and he's with LUVA Real Estate, and you might know him as the past president of the Association of Realtors here in West Hawaii, and you should know him, though, now as the first vice president of the Hawaii Association of Realtors. So we're going to get Lance to give us the West Hawaii real estate update, but we're also going to leave a little room for Lance and maybe have a little chatty chat about maybe some stuff that are happening with the real estate industry statewide. And in fact, tonight, for the people over here on Facebook who are live, Nicole Lowen is actually going to be doing a live update, and she goes on at 6:30, I think, tonight.
Yeah, 6:30, and it will be Vi, W-A-I, is the one putting it on, actually.
Okay.
So I did hear it was going to be her and Drew Kanuha and Stuart Coleman from Y, but I heard that Drew had to pull out tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But we'll have the guys from Y and Nicole Lowen.
There we go. And maybe we'll do another little update in 2 weeks when I get back from vacation, which I'm leaving tomorrow morning. That's why we're doing Amber and Lance all together on a Wednesday. So Lance has been chatting with me behind the scenes about some very interesting statistics. So why don't you go ahead and tell them what is going on?
Let's start out with that infograph thing that we had right off the bat. Sorry, it's a little bit breezy here today. I don't know if you guys can see that. We'll be loaded up in our report. But one of my most recent blogs, I talked about if you're still waiting for the market to crash, you better adjust your rear view mirror because it's behind you.
Right.
So looking at these numbers, the green is a year ago, the red is last month, and the blue is this month. So you can see in all three categories, we have gone up in price. From last month now, I'm talking about, okay? So we're on the way back up, and this is few months in a row now that we're seeing this happen. So probably January was our low. February was a little bit quirky. It was a short month, and plus there was less business days because it was
28 days, yeah.
Yeah, it was 28 days, but there was less business days. I think it started and ended with a weekend or something. So we were worried. Remember the median price had really dropped. That month.
It dropped a lot. Yeah.
So looking at things though, we are on the way back up, and
that means demand is high.
Demand is high, so let's jump into that. Let's just jump right into that. So the demand is high on so we'll talk about the single family homes. And I had this all done, but the wind blew it away, so I apologize.
We're in a windier zone now than when we used to do these events, these updates.
Yeah, and it's a breezy night, which is nice. It feels good actually sitting here. It's certainly not troublesome.
Move to Hawaii.
So what we're looking at is 30 homes sold for this April, and 45 sold last April. So that's a 33% drop from a year ago in the number of homes that sold. So. But 33%, if you guys are regular watchers, we were 45% the last 6 months.
Yeah. So almost half that you said, had dropped, Yeah,
so
it's getting better.
So it's getting better. So the number of sales are increasing. It's moving up. But another interesting thing is if you guys watch, we started getting worried. It jumped up, or the listings, we used to only have about 50 active. It jumped up to 100 active for several months. And it's still, we should have 160 to 180 active. So even 100 wasn't a lot on the market, but it was quite a bit more than we were used to. We are back down to, today we had 80 homes active on the market. So
we had a slew there of people putting their houses on the market.
Yeah, 12 listings on Caravan and stuff. And we judge a lot of things by Caravan, like do they make it a week or two into it to be able to actually be on Caravan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And interesting. So I ran these numbers the night before last, and there was 88. So there's been less coming on. So we've dropped
more
that
leaving
much.
the market now.
So it's a sign to watch out for. So an interesting thing though, and I just heard Amber and you talking about the sales price from the original list price.
Oh yeah.
And this is the biggest jump I've seen, and I don't know if there's one thing quirking it or what, but the median is 95%. 95.6% of the original list price. We've never seen it that low. I don't remember in a long time.
And again, here we go again with the usual. Sellers are trying to price it at a point where they think it's going to hit first.
Yeah.
And then they have to lower the price.
And you and Amber just explained it excellent. You guys need to watch the show before this if you haven't watched it already.
Thank you, Lance.
Yeah, you guys are talking about that, and that was it. Some people are saying, well, there's only 80 homes on the market, Lance. I'm going to go high. I'm going to see what I can get because I'm the only thing out there.
Yep.
So some of that mentality, it's not like that anymore. I can't say it's left completely because now we're getting
Okay, I'm
multiple
going to
offers
say
get.
case in point and tell me. And sometimes I say things that these guys kick me for and say you can't say that, you're a realtor. But
I'll get ready to bleep this.
Okay, bleep this out. But
I
there's
heard that on my way over here too. Sorry.
Oh.
I heard you, and Eric must have been saying, "No, you can't say that."
when I'm like blah blah blah. But Kona Coffee Villas has been coming up consistently, and it's been kind of hovering. Let's say that for there usually is 2-bedroom condos. They're almost all the same in that whole complex, and it's been like I don't know 450, and then it's like oh gosh, one went for 500. Oh, and then these last two came on at like 589.
Yeah.
And so there's two they're going for like that high, right? And so I think these are two sellers who are testing the market to see and you're going to write about this, is the fact that more condos are leaving the market. So there's not a lot of inventory in the condo market.
Correct.
So if you're going to pay to get here, just to get in, and also have those elevation and the views that they have up there, then you will pay.
Yes.
So we're going to see if those actually leave the market for that price.
They have the what people love about up there is the coolness up there. They're at that elevation. We always talk about elevation.
Yep.
There's very few condos at elevation. Most of them are all lower. So that's what makes a difference. So you mentioned condos. Let's talk about it real quick.
Okay.
So condos are down 39% from a year ago.
39% in what? Price or availability?
In availability. So, in sales, I'm sorry. So 28 sold last month, and a year ago 46 sold. So it's 39% change.
So we're not making this up that there's not much out there to buy.
No. Yeah. There's 41 active right now.
Yeah.
So if you're selling 28 a month and there's only 41 active, what does that tell you? It's a seller's market by far.
So they can definitely put
it's
the price
probably
out there.
It's probably in the 60% I think range of
there we go.
The absorption rate that we always talk about.
Yeah, but we're not talking stupid buyers either, though.
No, the market has shifted. It has changed. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it hasn't caused it to tank. It hasn't caused it to crash. It got a little bit lower, not a lot.
Yep. It looked like it was kind of in that, what's going to happen? And then it came back, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you think that's probably because people are starting to see better interest rates? Or do you think it's just people said, screw it, I'm just going to do it?
Yeah, I think they realize how long am I going to be on hold with my life,
Right.
You're seeing, we got 3 banks that have crashed now, and the feds aren't dropping the rates, and it's just kind of sitting there stagnant. It's at how long you've waited a year now?
Right, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, so how long are you going to wait?
That's Lance basically saying if you got extra cash laying around and you're thinking about moving to Hawaii, real estate's always a good investment.
Yeah, definitely. So
you're like this, what?
One of the things, Kimmy and I had a new listing the other day, and we put it out there. We had multiple offers. Yeah. And it was interesting because I had somebody trying to tell me that they didn't think that the price was right on that. I mean, on the second day out, I want to call it a low ball offer came in. Yeah. And they were trying to tell me that that's not the market that you guys see in Kona. And it was like they thought I hadn't done my homework, and I'm like...
Oh, nothing like an agent telling the other agent
yeah, and I'm like...
Especially if it's Lance Owens.
What are you talking about? And while I'm talking to him, I'm looking, everybody finances their homes over here. And I just happened to be sitting at my computer, and I'm pulling it up, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, 60% of the homes sold for cash. And so, I'm sorry, and over there it was 60% were financed, 40% were cash. Okay. So it was 60% cash on our side. And they mentioned that the market had been flat here in Kona for a year, and I'm like, I guess there's probably some number somewhere that you could find that said it was flat, but it's with the loss of listings and the loss of buyers, it wasn't flat. Right. The median income was $1 million last year, and it's 1.2 now. The median income? You mean the median price? I'm not calling. Median income. Sorry. How many friends like that? Yeah. Where's all my friends at? Let me throw up that median price because we didn't talk about that real quick. 1.231. Okay, that's for 1,200,000 single family home in Kailua, Kona. It's up a 7% increase over last year. Last year it was 1.149.
It's interesting. Every time you meet here, we've been doing this for quite some time. I always go like this. Wow. You know, it was like $630,000 not that long ago, and I was like this. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys, I'm telling you,
It's amazing. So
people are doing amazing things to be able to keep saying, I'm going to live here and whatever it takes.
That's crazy. And you know I think what's kind of sad, because, you know, I love my wife and she's a realtor and she's an awesome realtor, but she listens to too much of the mainland numbers, you know, and she hears them talking about prices going down and prices this and that.
Well, that's what happens in oversaturated markets like Las Vegas and Austin.
Yeah.
They had too much inventory with people just throwing money at it left and right.
Yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden everyone said, oh, shoot. And like the iBuyer market fell apart.
Yeah.
Right? And everything just started going, well, we're here. We don't have massive amounts of inventory.
We don't have a huge amount of inventory. We don't have a huge amount of sales. We just, you know, it's people that want to live here.
Right,
you know?
right. And that the iBuyer business never came into Big Island because it just didn't work out for them. And I'm actually happy now because they were worried that with people being able to get out of their houses so quick because of the iBuyers who were able to buy those houses and then basically flip them, that wasn't happening here.
No, we got lucky. The big corporate investors weren't coming in here.
Yeah,
They
Blackstone, is that what
and they couldn't. You know, they weren't able to
buy up neighborhoods.
They weren't able to use their algorithm because you guys know how it is. One block to the next, there's a $2 million home here, and the next cul-de-sac is a $600,000 home. You know, and the next cul-de-sac over is a $900,000. The algorithm didn't work. We don't have any set areas, you know, in a large thing. So that was good. Yeah. That was good to see that did not come in here. You're right.
So all those people who, I just want you guys to know there's almost 2,000 people on this group now on my Facebook page. Wow. And many of those people.
Hi, 2,000.
Yeah, I know. Woo! A lot of people have purchased homes and they still watch these updates, make sure that they made a good investment.
Yeah.
And I think that they keep seeing, from what we keep saying about this, they're pretty happy they bought when they did.
Yeah.
And even if you just bought in the last 6 months, you're still doing pretty good.
Exactly. I can't think of a bad time in the last
few
years. It was I don't know, the last 10 to 12 years, you know.
Yeah. It's only
it's just gone up. So
okay, then the condo market, just real quick, so to give you guys some numbers real quick. So give me real quick, condos, single, what's the median price for a condo right now?
The median price for the condo was, a drum roll please, was $567,500 is the median price. It was $572 a year ago. Okay. So it's dropped 0.87%. So less than 1% drop.
Okay.
Year to date, it's up 9%.
Okay.
So let's look at everything on year to date. We're 4 months into it. So year to date's a good number to use. Actually, homes are only up 3.8%, 3.88 residential, and condos are up 9%.
Okay.
Year to date.
Yeah. So when we talk about those 2 condos up at Kona Coffee Village going to almost $600.
It's median price.
Oh yeah, it's just there you go. You know, that's what they're going to do. 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Also, people on Facebook, if you have questions for Lance, please go ahead and I want to make my husband work. Just give Eric Ziemelis.
Yeah, he started relaxing over there.
Yeah, he's over there watching Facebook, messing around. He's probably watching some YouTube videos. But
he's usually cutting us off.
Yeah. Okay, so did you hit all the numbers?
I think we hit them all.
Yeah. Okay. So
real quick recap. 46 condos sold last year, 38 this year, down 39%. 41 active, median price we just gave you. Days on market, we didn't touch on that. Okay. Median days on market to sale for condo, 18, average 56 days.
Yeah.
Highest was 281, lowest was 0.
Yeah.
Residential, real quick, 45 last year, sold 30 this year. That's a 33% drop. That's far less than the 45% last few months that we've had. Active today are 80. We should have 160 at least to 180. Days on market, median was 28. Average was 71. So that goes to speak to, we're always having this conversation that they're sitting on the market longer. And
these houses, especially the 2 million something, the ones are waiting on the market for months.
Yeah, so
well-priced homes are going like this.
Yeah, but the interesting thing, again, median price from sale to the original price is 95% on homes. I think that's the lowest we've seen that in a long time. On condos are 99.4%.
There you go. And if I can do a little shout out for myself, I had my friend Jana and I are selling a house for a buyer, and the buyer met me through 365 from the work I do in the community, and we put it out on my channels, and lo and behold, these buyers got out of the car and said, we've been watching your videos for a long time, and the realtor on the other side actually has been on Hawaii Life HGTV quite a few times, and they were all fawning over me because they felt that I was more famous than she was. Felt very good. And
Good for you.
these buyers are really cool people because they came through 365. So they bought our house within 4 days after we put it on the market.
That's awesome.
So it's priced right.
Yep.
Right, and I like to believe that my sphere of influence, being able to put people into a lot of faces and buyers and things like that through all the things that we do, actually makes a difference. And it's been a great experience because there is so much demand out there that we knew we were solid with that pricing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
you guys
I'm
were.
telling you guys, sellers, and that's I'm going to tell you, sellers do believe that they are in control of the driver's seat right now. So if you are trying to think about lowballing, don't lowball a really well priced
do it.
off property, because they're going to not take you, and you've just lost that opportunity to actually put in a sane amount of money. And with so less inventory coming on the market right now, you don't want to be screwing around if you're in a time crunch.
So, and what's prediction for the summer? What do you think is what's going to happen?
You know, we've kidded around because I've made a friendly bet that may have involved some monetary things to it, but I made the same bet with my brother. We kind of were betting over Southwest Airlines stock because he owns a lot of it.
Yeah.
So at Christmas time, I just called to rib him a little bit. He's my little brother, so we made a bet that he thought they would be back up to $45 a share by May 1st. So I actually wrote in I would have forgot about it. I made myself an appointment for May 1st to call my brother and have him send me some money. And,
so what is it?
It's $30 a share.
Oh,
it's still tanked. It's
I thought you said they made millions of dollars in revenue.
They made lots of profit, but it isn't
their stock is horrible. So because they just keep messing up. So
Well, theoretically, May 1st is also when the pilot strike is supposed to start thinking about. They're gonna strike sometime in the near future. So.
And how can you blame them? I mean, look at how much money the company's making, millions and millions and millions. I know 3 people that are switching their careers to be pilots.
Oh.
I mean, who did that when I was younger? I didn't know anybody. If you didn't go into the military and come out and do, that
I
was
always had a dream.
Yeah, it was a dream to do that. And now it's like, I'm a midship. I'm going to change my career and be a pilot because they need so many.
They do need so many of them, and they get paid
So,
pretty well. It's kind of stressful.
But I'm sorry, I got us off track.
Yeah, I was saying, how's that deal with real estate?
So one of the things, well, because I was talking about my midsummer bet that we would see interest rates around 5.5%. So and now I'm talking about through the month of July.
Okay. We're still kind of.
I didn't spend the money my brother just sent me. I think I'm losing that bet. Okay, so.
You know, when you guys were telling me, "Oh, it'll be 5.5%," I'm like, I don't think so.
We still got a couple more months. I haven't given up yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, get this.
Mid-5s.
Signs of inflation. Deflation. The Fed is definitely taking a look at some of the numbers that look like it's showing that their rate increases are actually having an impact on the economy. But I'm hearing other things are starting to come our way this fall and maybe late summer. And it's not always the best of news. How Ukraine's effect on Europe is now going to be rolling over to America. In some level, it's just going to have to do that. And we don't know what's going to happen with the government missing their budget talks.
They're not gonna let us go.
And they say that. I know every time, right? You go, I'm scared.
How many times have I heard that?
Yeah.
I'm 62 years old. I've heard that. I'm like,
and they just keep
why
raising
do I
the debt
keep hearing
ceiling.
that? This is like,
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times, and they make it sound like it's never happened before. I mean, it's never happened before. But this gets to this point. How many times does it get to this point? Till people are screaming and yelling. And
I don't know who's running the budget for America, but they obviously are failing.
Yeah.
But also with the rates, that they, again, want to make sure that all the indicators are really looking good before they're going to lower those things. And we're in May, and June's coming right around the corner, and I don't think that they're there yet. So I'm
not spending my
fall.
brother's money yet.
Yeah.
But I'm still, 6 of the last 8 recessions, rates have dropped and home prices have risen. 6 of the last 8 recessions.
Wait. As the prices, the rates have dropped, then the prices go up. Is that what you're saying? Last 6
Well, in the recessions, rates have dropped and home prices have increased. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there
So
we go.
I don't know that the rates dropping are increasing the home prices, but I get, that usually does have a strong effect on
when the
it.
money's less expensive to use, then people go out and buy
Yeah.
homes. Yes.
But, we've had free money for how many years?
Too long.
Yeah.
I think I
way
messed
too
this
long.
up, but that's just I'm just bitching.
Yeah, I'm
because
sorry
I
for
didn't buy
people
a
that
home.
didn't get in at
Yeah.
a really good rate. I really am. I wish you would have. But we couldn't keep giving away free money like that for this long.
Right, and now look
it's
at it's messed
crazy.
us up because Amber and
It's
I were
messed
talking
us
about
up.
this before. That sellers don't want to get out of their homes now because
Yeah.
why would you walk away from a 2.3 mortgage, right?
You don't.
You can't.
You figure out a way to add a room or do something.
Right. So we've trapped the housing supply.
Somebody told me just yesterday was actually Tuesday. That was yesterday. So Tuesday their home equity loan line of credit. I'm sorry, that they had lined up 2 years ago maybe, was at 2.5% for their home equity line. So if they wanted to do an addition on their house or do something to fix it, a new roof, something like that, it's at 8.5%.
Now, yeah.
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 That's
Yeah, 8.5%.
yeah.
So that's going to hurt everything.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt remodels. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, but get this: when it's too free, it
maintenance.
screws up the.
No,
there's
exactly.
A
I
fine
agree with you
line,
100%.
fine line. Well, my son's trying to get a credit card, and it's 17.86%.
And that's cheap.
That's the
crazy.
student
Yeah.
rate. So, yeah.
That's to get you sucked in, right?
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
and we talk
yeah.
about compounding interest.
24%.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I will say though,
we're not going to fix those
right,
problems.
we're not going to fit that problem. However, there is one thing that we all cannot control, and that is called the passage of time. And I always tell people, if you keep waiting, you are losing that year or 2 or 3 or 4 that you didn't get
Yeah.
a chance to actually move to Hawaii. And as Lance has shown, that we've been doing this now for 4 years, and we have not seen a bounce down in pricing.
No, just one little teeny one, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And you look at the things that have happened. Look at friends and family and what's happened to their lives in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
It happens to all of us. Life changes. So
Yep.
for some people, it's better worked out that they didn't make the plunge and didn't do it. Then
Yeah.
they've lost a job or something's changed or something's happened. But for many that do have everything in line, it's just making it harder and harder and harder, and it's taking more and more of their savings
Right, to be able to make
get
it
here
happen.
and do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard. It's difficult.
Yeah. But it's been interesting. I'll tell you guys, because again, Amber and I were just talking about this. It's been 5 years since the Leilani
Yeah.
lava
Yeah.
flow, and Lance.
Was it the anniversary?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it
Now,
May?
May 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Lance was like this: maybe a big fat eruption with crappy air quality is going to drive housing prices down. It didn't happen, did it?
No. Let's talk about that really quick. So, prices, we had a huge decrease in, we had more people stop buying homes in West Hawaii than they did where the lava was flowing. They had an increase because people were leaving the flow areas and moving to outer areas. They didn't have an increase. Let me straighten it. They didn't decrease near as much as we did. I think they had about a 35% decrease. We had a 50% decrease in the amount of sales. Prices barely affected them. People just pulled everything off the market. Like, I'm not selling in this panic.
Yeah.
There might have been a few people saying, yeah, sell. My house is going to go up in lava. They had appraisers coming out and appraising homes to make sure that they weren't in a lava zone here in Kona. They were paying people in our office $50 to go out and take a picture of a home and to make sure it wasn't a lava flow in Kona. So once all that misinformation got straightened out and fixed, it was, our sales, we ended up, so we had several months that it tanked, and then by the end of the year, prices were higher than the prior year, and the amount of money that had changed hands for the year was more than the prior year was, and the price of homes. So the number of homes exceeded the price and the volume.
And if a big fat earthquake ruining our air quality for 4 months didn't drive home prices down, and then the whole pandemic business, how the prices just went frank,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to take.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. Were you here in 2007 when we had the big there was a big lava flow and I couldn't see the ocean from here. You would not be able to see the ocean from here back in 2007 and 8.
Yeah.
There was things, and that didn't change it.
Yep.
The tsunami in 2006, right? The
2011. Remember, that was a big one.
2011, yeah.
Yeah, and the big earthquake in 2006.
Yeah, it was an earthquake in 2006.
We get them all, guys. We get them all. And yet we still remain happy to hug a palm
none
tree.
of it. Yeah. And you've caught me a year or two ago talking about this. What's gonna change the market? And I said a lava flow.
Yeah.
So I have called that out before. So I didn't forget what I've said prior. But we had that happen again a few months ago, and it's like people have finally found out, what Kona is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little kept secret for forever.
Yeah.
But they had predicted, when I looked at the prediction levels, when they tried to take away the water rights from the county here, or the state, but the National Park Service is trying to control water rights across the country.
Yeah.
They're trying to do as much as they can. And they killed development on Maui when they did it. And they came over here. They thought they were going to get it done here. Billy Kanoy our mayor back then, did an amazing job of kind of putting them in their place. But if you look during that time at the predictions, our hillside was going to look like Honolulu.
Yeah.
Is what they had predicted it would have been like 10 years ago. Yeah. And it never happened.
Yeah.
And, you look at what's going on now, people are moving and things are happening, and it's,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's, I'll give you guys, and that's when we go back into, Lance, if you have any updates or whatever. I was driving above Laepua, which is Hawaiian homelands, and they have cleared a huge swatch of land.
Yeah.
And I think they're building at least 58 new homes up there. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know the number, but I know it's incredible, and I know it's so far overdue.
Yeah, the Hawaiians. This is Hawaiian homeland. The state gave them, they earmarked like millions of dollars to help build homes for Hawaiians, right? So at least that's getting done up there. That's good
I've been
for
here
them.
37 years, and I've heard about them. I mean, this has been ongoing forever.
Yeah.
My wife's got Hawaiian in her, and her sister too, and they, she was on the list. Kimmy did not put her name on the list. But her sister did, and for a while there, they just gave up. People die on the list.
People
it's
die
not
on the
a
list.
joke.
Yeah.
It's serious. Can you imagine having your name on a list to get a home for 38 years? It's like you just got to go out and you got to make it happen on your own.
Right. Or you get angry.
Yeah.
So,
we got a couple questions here. Jim says, when do you think the houses are going to come back on the market?
is this Jim?
Let's see. And
Oh,
then the other-
okay,
The
Jim's
other
there.
one is Jamie, which from our last video was saying, that's why I like the Big Island. It's not Honolulu looking.
That's
Yeah.
right. And that's another thing, that this island is anti-development. I've said this many times, but I looked at the overall land plan for the island, and it's to keep, 75% in ag and open lava fields. So there's not that many places to build. They're not going to have an over-exaggeration of like high rises up and down the coast.
Yeah.
In fact, we do these videos sometimes. Eric's droning. Like we just went on an adventure, video coming soon, of south of Lava Beach Club.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful beaches, green because it's like an oasis or whatever. And he pulls up, and all you see is lava fields and ocean and beach for a very long. And you know what? You can't get that back once it's gone.
No.
And so there is a level of being careful of a development here.
Absolutely. I mean, none of us want to see this become
No, we don't want
Honolulu.
we don't want
So,
that to happen.
I know
but
we
that's
all
why
complain
prices
about
are high.
Yeah.
So that's when we were laughing with Amber just 5 minutes ago about who has a better one, East Hawaii or West Hawaii. They're building like crazy in East Hawaii right now.
Have you ever come out of like Hawaiian Paradise Park in the morning?
With the traffic?
With the traffic.
That's
to go to
horrible.
town?
Middle of the day now.
Even in the
Yeah, it's
middle of
almost
the
all
day.
day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, they're not keeping up the infrastructure for all the houses being built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they built the subdivisions how many years ago? I think Amber said 50 years ago or
Yeah.
something.
Well,
or-
now the incredible amount of people trying to buy over there.
Right. All
Yeah.
these lots are getting built, and it's like, why did you create a subdivision and not think ahead and
Right.
put in the
Just so you guys
infrastructure.
know, Hawaiian Paradise Park is the second largest subdivision in America, and I think number one is Hawaiian Ocean View Estates here on our island. So we've got people saying, you know, let's just cheap out, put a bunch of houses down, but don't give them anything in terms of county services.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not what the story's about. But in terms of what the future is going to be holding for any legislation coming down the pike, do we know any updates on what's happening with STVR, cesspool, anything else that you might be involved in?
All the cesspool bills died.
Okay, all cesspool dies. Okay.
There was a couple that would have made sense that actually we were worried about at the end, that they were going to slip in some language in there that could have put in the date changes. That didn't happen, but the whole bill died, and part of the bill would have given money to the government to work on infrastructure.
Ugh.
So that's the sad part. If we could get together and know, you know, it's kind of interesting because I went to a meeting with a lot of people sponsoring the bills yesterday, and really just tried to, you know, work with them and let them know that, you know, this is what needs to work. We can't put in 49,000 septic tanks where 49,000 cesspools are. That's not the answer. We got to put in infrastructure. We got to put in sewage systems. A big chunk of this low-hanging fruit in these bad areas are all right, you know, within 500 feet or 1,000 feet
Of a sewer.
of a sewer line.
Okay.
And it needs to be put in, and it's gravity. You know, it's not even like they need the big pumping stations and things like that. Now, they may need them down on a leaky drive to get it out to the wastewater plant. I don't know that, but that's far better choice than to
Dig in and try and put a bunch of septic.
A bunch of septic tanks.
Yeah.
The next thing is our land use bill. Our bill died, but one of them did pass, which was, it's a good thing. Any county-owned land can be reclassified without having to go to the Land Use Commission. Land Use Commission used to take 7 years to try to reclassify something, and it could kill you on the last day of it.
Oh.
So, so we tried to make it. The realtors introduced a bill to try to make it where it was anything under 100 acres, but which is nothing on the Big Island.
Right,
You know, there's
yeah.
20-acre parcels all over the place.
Yeah.
That would be 5 parcels,
Right,
and if you
right.
wanted to make a little subdivision there, it wouldn't be a big deal. But if you take 100 acres in Honolulu or Maui or Kauai, that's huge. That's
Right.
a big chunk of theirs. So that's why it. I don't know that we'll ever
haven't,
get that.
you know, just so you guys know, when our state lawmakers think about what they're thinking about, they always think about Oahu and what that looks like for Oahu. They don't really understand that we are completely different
Yeah.
over here in terms of, like, you know, the amount of, like, land or the lack. We only have, like, what, 250,000 people that live on this whole island? 300
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
and they've got 1 million on one that's this big. So
Yeah.
they think their impact on what they just have different perspectives of really what we're dealing with versus what they're dealing with.
I believe North and South Kona, just those 2 parts of the Big Island, are bigger than any other island.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's bigger than Oahu. I
Yeah.
was doing my math. I was talking to them about that. But,
Well, someone said the Puna district, just the Puna district of itself, is as big as Oahu.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you guys know, because sometimes people don't understand, like, what, you know, the
Yeah,
scope
what are we
is.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a district that's bigger than the island. That's where our lawmakers are and where our capital is and things like that. So
Yeah.
they don't get it. They're like rats in an experiment. I just say that out loud. You know, they're in all these high rises, and it's just nothing. There's not a lot of land there. It's all just overbuilt.
Right, right. So I think our island at least has the beauty of not making the same mistakes as Oahu and Maui have made, and that's why I think that they're careful about sometimes that they decide to do here. So there's a good, you know, it's the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Right, so, but if you have not yet driven up to Waikoloa Village lately,
Yeah.
they're slapping up these
Doing a lot of stuff up
happy
there.
little condos all around the shopping center, and they just made a huge solar farm go online to provide solar
Yeah.
power to that whole community.
That was
So,
awesome.
so that's kind of where the growth really is happening. Is right now is in Waikoloa Village. So
And they have the best infrastructure out there, so it's kind of, you know, we've been trying to get it for people that live here and work here, and we're not going to get it because our infrastructure's so bad. You know, we might get it out by the college, out by the airport area.
yeah.
But Waikoloa, at least there's something coming in, and there's a lot of people that work in the hotels
Right.
that are traveling from here to there, that may be giving up some housing in Kona
Yeah.
and moving out there where it's closer.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that 45-minute drive.
Nope. So that's an
forth,
idea.
so,
yeah. Is
So
there any
hopefully-
other? You guys throw us some comments because I gotta get Mr. Lance out of here. because I have to pack because I'm going to Grand Cayman tomorrow. I get a chance to go deal with sargassum seaweed.
Oh,
so that's another thing too. That
fun.
sometimes
That's a
you
bummer,
don't.
huh?
Sometimes you don't know the things that you should be grateful for living in Hawaii.
Yeah,
One is
yeah.
I'm going to spend 3 days in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
June gloom has already descended upon them. Their daytime high is 65 degrees,
Oh.
and they're sitting in fog and gray. Not looking forward to that. And then over in the Caribbean, they've got the Sargassum Sea, and huge amounts of seaweed are coming up to their
Wow.
beautiful white sand beaches. We're not dealing with that here. And also, they've got like Stingray City, where I'm going to be snorkeling, where 18 boats will sit around one space dealing with a bunch of little stingrays, and then no
Wow.
one's ever going to save those stingrays, but they at least are trying to watch what's happening here with the manas. So we do have resource management here in terms of natural environment here too.
That's awesome.
So you know what? We live in a really actually pretty cool place, you guys.
And where am I going Friday?
Oh, you're going to D.C.
Washington, D.C.
So, well, I'm messing around down, you know,
Excuse me, the beach.
in the Caribbean. Lance is actually going to be fighting for your property rights here in Hawaii. He's going to be meeting with realtors from all over the country. Actually, and then our state realtors are getting together to meet with our legislatures.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll be meeting. Well, every year we've done this where we meet with our state legislators. You know, so we've our senators and House representatives. So we've met with Maisie and Brian Schatz and several of them over the years. But this year NAR is doing something different. They're putting on a block party at the National Park in Washington D.C. There's, I think at this point, there's about 7,500 people. It's about 1,200 Congress people and their staff going to show up,
Oh.
and then 6,000 realtors are going to be there.
Yay!
I'm a little bit worried about security there myself. Like they're worried about security. It's like, man, you got a stadium full of realtors and Congress people. Let's take it out. So,
Yeah. And you know, and we'll do a plug real quick for the realtor party, is that every realtor in your community, wherever you're from, is always looking for your best interest in private property rights.
It's all volunteer time. We are not getting paid to go to Washington D.C. and do this. So
Right. So it's his free
it's
time.
all volunteer.
Okay, a couple more ending comments here for you guys. Jamie says, how are the pet services on the island? She's particularly thinking about grooming and also veterinary would be the other one.
Well, we're running low on vets.
Too many people brought their dogs over.
Yeah, everyone's coming over here with dogs. If you want to,
Very hard to get a vet.
yeah,
right now.
Jamie, take this down. Lava Dogs 808, or is it 808 Lava Dogs? My friend
Wow.
Rhonda Pollard runs that group, and it is all about the pet situation on this island, and you can get so much information. You can ask questions and things like that. But in terms of vets, I've seen people on my newbies group kind of saying, "Oh, I've got a sick animal. I can't get in to see the vet for 3 weeks."
Yeah.
So that's disheartening. It's like trying to find a doctor as a human. And then so it was pet service, own grooming. There's
Petco's
has
Petco
grooming.
gets us in and out quick.
A woman that I met through the group too, she opened up a pet food and supply thing down next to.
Oh, yeah.
And she does grooming too.
By the old Jack in the Box. By the
By the old. What's the big one? You know your old
Where
one.
the Big Island Grill was, right?
Yeah.
yeah, Big Island Grill. Yeah, that was the old Jack in the Box.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's in
And
that
then-
park. Yeah.
And then we got Brad who says,
Brad.
it's still sitting here in rain in Minnesota, but he says at least it's not raining. And then what else we got now? Jamie says thanks, and Brad put some sort of Facebook group. I'm assuming that's the
At
dog.
808.
Dog.
I'm telling you guys,
Cool, awesome.
if you know what Brad is.
Brad,
Brad
I
is.
was listening to Brad on the whole way over here. Just throwing you guys numbers. I listened to the whole show with Amber and them. Great information coming out of
Brad
that.
rivals Chat GPT.
Brad Chat's going to be here today.
Brad Chat. There
Brad
you go.
Chat. Thank you, Brad.
Okay, so with that, we will say aloha. Keep an eye out for the fact that, especially people who are on YouTube, that if you do want to join in like Brad and talk to us live, you go to 365hawaiiliving.com and join the 365 Ohana if you're not working already with a realtor. And you can get into our private Facebook group, and you get a chance to also get my free books, and you also get a chance to get alerted to these kinds of events that we're doing here where we're live. And also, Eric and I offer great opportunities for you to work with us, or when we get busy, we also have great partners from around the island, including Lance. And Lance is a fantastic resource for any of you as well. So we're so happy to have him with us, offering his insights on these events with us. So
Thank you.
with that, we say
See you guys.
aloha.
Aloha.